Hello friends, so we start a new topic today, optical isomerism in glucose. What is optical isomerism? We have talked about optical isomerism earlier also. It is a form of stereoisomerism in which two compounds contain same number of atoms, kinds of atoms, bonds and different spatial arrangement of atoms, but which have non-superimposable mirror image. Each non-superimposable mirror image structure is called an enantiomer and phenomena is called enantiomerism. So optical isomers can be calculated using formula. Optical isomer number is equal to 2 to the power of n, where n is the number of chiral carbon atoms. So let's say if we have to calculate the optical isomers for D plus glucose, then so we have to check that how many chiral carbons are present in it. So let's see here. Here we see 4 chiral carbons. That means the number of optical isomerism would be 2 to the power of 4, which is equal to 16. So it forms 16 isomers. So glucose is an optically active compound and its specific rotation is equal to 52.7 degree due to its dextro rotation, and due to its dextro rotation it is also called dextrose. So this can be calculated using this formula. Alpha D20 is equal to alpha upon C into L, where alpha is the optical rotation, 20 degrees is the temperature, and D stands for wavelength of light. So D line of sodium lamp. So this light is used for the experiment. Here alpha stands for observed rotation, C is the concentration of sample solution in grams per ml, and L is the length of the cell in decimeter. And we all know that 1 decimeter is equal to 10 centimeters. Now cyclic structure of glucose. On the basis of chemical evidence, stereostructure of D plus glucose was represented by the Fischer projection formula. Glucose, however, was found to exhibit some more chemical properties which could not be explained by using the Fischer projection formula. So it was necessary to write another structure for glucose which will explain its all the properties. Ring structure of glucose fulfills this requirement. So glucose is found to have two cyclic structures which are in equilibrium with each other through the open structure fission projection formula in aqueous solution. So let's see how the open chain structure gets converted to the hemiacetal structure. In the first carbon here is the aldehyde group. Remaining 4 carbons are secondary alcoholic group, and the last carbon is the holding the primary alcoholic group. So what happens in the first carbon is that this first carbon is bonded to oxygen. Oxygen, being more electronegative, attracts the electrons towards itself. The electrons, pi electron gets shifted to oxygen, oxygen gets a negative charge and carbon gets a positive charge. This carbon with positive charge attracts the electrons present in oxygen, which is attached to the fifth carbon. And when it attracts the electron, a bond is formed between this carbon and oxygen. So this forms a ring. And this H of the fifth carbon gets attached to oxygen of the first carbon, and hemiacetal structure is formed. Okay, like this. So this first carbon is forming a hemiacetal structure. So on the first carbon you see the hydrogen is on the left hand side, oxygen and OH is on the right hand side. So this is called alpha D glucose. A similar structure can be formed with OH on the left hand side and H on the right hand side. So this is called beta D glucose. Haworth projection formula. So Haworth projection formula is a common way of writing a structural formula to represent the cyclic structure of monosaccharide with a simple three-dimensional perspective. So a ring structure of glucose is formed by the reaction between the formyl group, that is the aldehyde group, and the OH group of the fifth carbon. Thus the ring structure is called the hemiacetal structure, and just now we saw the formation. So how it is, let's see how the open chain structure gets converted to the ring structure. Let's see here. So whatever atoms are there on the left hand side come on the top, and whatever is on the right hand side go at the bottom. So let's see how this is getting converted. Gradually the open chain structure gets converted to the ring structure. And this is the final ring structure that is formed. So whichever groups were on the left hand side are on the top, and whichever groups were on the right hand side are on the bottom. So let's begin with the first carbon. First carbon is holding H on the top and OH below. While in the open chain structure, the H was on the left hand side and OH was on the right hand side. Then second carbon, H is on the top and OH is down. So the third carbon, OH is on the top and H is down. Fourth carbon, H is on the top and OH is down. And the fifth carbon is forming a hemiacetal structure, and the sixth carbon is on the top, which is known as CH2OH. So this is called alpha D plus glucopyranose. So in alpha D plus glucopyranose, what happens? The first carbon, that is the anomeric carbon, is having H on the top and OH down. Then how is beta D glucopyranose formed? Let's see. In beta D plus glucopyranose, what happens? The first carbon, that is the anomeric carbon, is having OH on the top and H below. And the remaining carbons and all the groups are having the similar position. So what is the difference between alpha and beta D glucopyranose? Only the position of H and OH on the anomeric carbon. So this is how I explain the formation. So here in this you see there is an equilibrium between the open chain structure and alpha D plus glucopyranose and beta D plus glucopyranose. So form open chain structure, how is alpha D plus glucopyranose form and beta D plus glucopyranose form? In alpha D plus glucopyranose, what is it? Anomeric carbon is having H on the top side and OH down. While in the beta D plus glucopyranose, the OH is on the top and H is down. So why are they called glucopyranose? Because their structures resembles the heterocyclic compound pyrene. Now reducing nature of glucose. So hemiacetal group of glucopyranose is a potential aldehyde group, and it imparts reducing properties to the glucose. That means it gives positive Tollens test and the positive Fehling test. Now what is Tollens test? When glucose is treated with Tollens reagent, then what happens? On the walls of test tube you get a silver mirror, and the aldehyde group gets oxidized to the carboxylic group. That means glucose gets converted to gluconic acid, and this diamine silver hydroxide, which is the Tollens reagent, it gets reduced to the silver, and silver gets deposited on the walls of the test tubes when you perform this test in a test tube. Okay, so you take glucose, add Tollens reagent to it, and this silver compound gets reduced to silver mirror, right? So this test is given by the aldehydes, and it depicts the reducing nature of a compound. Now Fehling test. So in Fehling test, what happens? Fehling reagents are added to glucose. Phenyl contains alkaline copper solution, and when you add this phenyl reagent to glucose and heat it, this copper 2 plus gets reduced to copper plus 1, and you get a red precipitate of cuprous oxide, while glucose gets oxidized to the carboxylate ion. So this test is called Fehling's test, and this also shows the reducing nature of glucose. Then further, glucose also shows a positive Benedict's test. When you add Benedict's reagent to glucose, you get a brown and or orange precipitate. What is Benedict's reagent? Benedict's reagent is a mixture of copper sulfate, sodium carbonate and sodium citrate. Then also it gives Burfoyt's test. When you add Burfoyt's reagent to glucose, you get scanty brick red PPT. And what is Burfoyt's reagent? It is a uh, mixture of copper sulfate and acetic acid. Then also it gives Molish test. When you add Molish reagent to glucose, you get a reddish, violet or purple color. And what is Molish reagent? It is a mixture of alpha naphthol and concentrated sulfuric acid. Representation of fructose structure. Fructose is optically active pentahydroxyketone containing 3 chiral carbon atoms. Molecular formula is C6H12O6 and its structural formula is this. In this you observe that it contains how many carbons? 6 carbons, 2 primary alcoholic group, 3 secondary alcoholic group and 1 ketonic group. So Fischer projection formula, D minus fructose, just now we saw the formula, the similar one, 2 primary alcoholic groups, 3 secondary alcoholic group and 1 ketonic group. Now how many chiral carbons are there? 3 chiral carbons are there. Means how many optical isomers is got to form? It will form 2 to the power of 3, that means 8 optical isomers. And its optical rotation is minus 92.4 degree. Due to its levo rotation, it is also known as libulose. Then in free state, it exists as a mixture of fructopyranose and fructofuranose. In combined state, fructose is found in the form of fructofuranose ring structure. The name furanose is given by the analogy with the furan, a 5-membered heterocyclic compound. So the open chain structure of fructose contains ketonic group. Ring structure of alpha and beta anomers of fructofuranose contains hemiketal as a functional group. So let's see here how hemiketal is formed. The first carbon is CH2OH. The second carbon is having the ketonic group. That means C double bond O. So as in the case of glucose, the pi electron gets shifted towards the more electronegative oxygen and carbon gets a positive charge. This oxygen negative charge and carbon gets a positive charge. So this carbon attracts the electrons from the oxygen that is attached to the 5th carbon. And a hemiketal is formed, and this H of the 5th carbon gets attached to the oxygen of the 2nd carbon, ketonic carbon. So a hemiketal structure is formed. Okay, this CH2OH gets pushed towards the left side or right side, and the second carbon forms the hemiketal structure. Okay, so when CH2OH is on the left side and OH is on the right side, it is called alpha structure. So alpha D minus fructofuranose. While if CH2OH is towards the right hand side and OH is on the left hand side, you call it as beta D minus fructofuranose. So it is beta structure. So I explain the formation again. Once again, you can see it in this slide. the formation of ring structure from the open chain structure. So here the second carbon is called the anomeric carbon, and if it is having CH2OH on the top and OH below, it is called alpha D minus fructofuranose. But if OH is on the top and CH2OH is on the down side, then it is called beta D minus fructofuranose. Because this structure resembles furan, that is why we call it as furanose. Reducing nature of fructose. Hemiketal group of fructofuranose structure is a potential ketonic group. It imparts reducing properties to fructose and it gives Tollens test, Fehling's test easily, which shows reducing nature of fructose. Thank you.